Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you all are super fired up for the El Clasico tonight. It's the biggest game in the season. Perhaps, if I am to use the words of Zinedine Zidane, it's a final. We have to win this. We are currently 2 points behind Barcelona in the table, so certainly any points dropped here will be hurting us more. We cannot afford to make any mistakes because one mistake here and we could give the Laliga to Barcelona. Anyways, we have a brilliant encounter on our hands. Two top class teams are going to come together, and I believe this Clasico is going to be even better than the previous one. In the previous El Clasico, we were fantastic. We won it 3-1, but if you remember, both the teams hadn't really hit their stride during that part of the season. Both the teams were dropping points, both the teams were lacking consistency, but this time round, both the teams have arrived in superb form. Now, we very well know about our team, but Barcelona have also found form since the turn of the year. They have done well in La Liga, and at the end of the day, you want the two teams coming to war with the best preparation possible, and I can't wait for this. This truly would be a thriller. But moving on, today in this video, we will be talking about Barcelona. We will talk about what they have been up to, what tactics they have been using, which players they may be using, and which battles will determine this game. So we have a lot to discuss, and let's get started. Let's start by having a look at the players that we may be coming up against. Now, we do have an understanding of which formation they would be using, but there is a dilemma about who will be playing in defense, and assessing the options that Ronald Koeman has. He can set up in 3 different ways. In the first option, Koeman would be using the same setup that has brought the team so much success in recent times. This would include Ter Stegen in goal, the back three of Mingueza, De Jong and Longley. The 2 wing-backs will be Jordi Alba and Serginho Dest, and they would be helping out Busquets and Pedri in the midfield. The front 3 would comprise Griezmann, Messi and Ousmane Dembele. Now, this is the lineup that Barcelona have primarily used since they were humbled by PSG in their own backyard, and this was also the lineup that they used in the 6-1 win against Real Sociedad. They had a very good performance that night, and Koeman may find this as a very attractive option. But here, the issue is, would Barcelona be willing to use De Jong in defense when you're coming across the best midfield 3 in the world? Now, I do have serious doubts regarding that, and obviously he can try that out at his own risk, but I do believe that he would have seen the match against Liverpool, and the way Kroos, Modric and Casemiro played, he would be thinking that he may be better off using De Jong in the midfield, especially when he does have centre-backs available. Gerard Piqué is available after a long injury layoff. As per the reports, he did all the hard work to be available for the El Clasico, so he may come back in the lineup. Or we may be seeing Ronald Araujo back in the team. This youngster has been the first choice centre-back of Ronald Koeman whenever he has been available this season, and if Araujo or Piqué come back in the lineup, De Jong would be playing in the midfield, and then there is a high chance that one of the strikers up front may be sitting on the bench. And if I had to place my money on benching one of the front 3, I would be placing it on Antoine Griezmann. Messi, Pedri, Jordi Alba and Busquets are sure shot starters, and Dembele gives Barcelona an element of speed and surprise. So I doubt Koeman would be benching Dembele. Anyways, if we move on from the lineup and talk about the playing style of Barcelona, let's start by discussing the role of De Jong. Now, he can be handed 2 roles. The first role is playing as centre-back, where he would be helping Barcelona with a build-up play from the back. He's a midfielder by trade, so obviously he's good with the ball at his feet, and having the ability to be press resistant, that also works in his favor. So what I have noticed is very often after receiving that ball, De Jong likes going forward a lot. He gets away from the attackers who charges at him with high speed, he sidesteps the attacker, and then he ventures into a lot of spaces as the rest of the men in the midfield are busy marking each other. It's during this time when he's unmarked, he creates a lot of panic, and since he has good vision and passing ability, he looks up and starts looking for the man that is willing to make the run behind the last line of defense. It can be Messi, Dembele or Griezmann making the run, so we need to be completely turned on when we see De Jong making such kind of runs. Coming to the second option, Ronald Koeman, if he chooses to use De Jong in the midfield, he would be doing the work of a regular midfielder. But one thing he also has the tendency to do is making those surprise runs into the penalty box. This usually happens when Messi drops deep in the midfield. Messi will have the ball at his feet, looking up to make that cross-field pass, and then De Jong, to the surprise of everyone, makes that run into the penalty box. He is completely unmarked in those instances, and we have seen this season, and even in the past season, Barcelona have used that as one of the methods of catching the opponents off guard. So those are the 2 things that we must keep in mind when it comes to Frenkie de Jong. Up next, a very important part of Barcelona's game is the Messi-Alba connection. Jordi Alba is someone who is very well known for his attacking game. He spends a lot of the time in the opposition's territory. He makes those overlapping runs, and very often it's Messi who makes those lofted passes to Jordi Alba, who makes the run behind the defensive line. After that, Messi makes a run into the box and Alba would make a cross searching Messi or a better alternative. And with Barcelona, we see this move so many times. The defenders know this will happen. The defenders know Messi would be looking for Alba. Yet, many times it's difficult to stop this duo. In fact, if you remember the previous El Clasico, that was the way we conceded the only goal at the Camp Nou. So Vasquez has another major battle to fight against Jordi Alba. He will be entrusted with the responsibility of keeping Alba quiet. He would be checking those overlapping runs, and if he can replicate what he did in the previous match, then certainly that would help Madrid a lot. Next in line, if we talk about Ousmane Dembele, he had a very tough time in the Camp Nou since he joined back in 2017. It was primarily down to the injuries, but this season he has managed to stay fit. Ronald Koeman as well has showed a lot of faith in him. He starts Dembele in most of the games, and you can understand why. He has that electric pace from time to time. He likes taking on defenders. He likes having spaces to run into. He is a bit like Vinicius if you see, and the funny aspect is both the players have a lot of work to do on the finishing. With that being said, Dembele has given Barcelona some clutch goals this season. You talk about the goal against Valladolid in the previous match or his goal against Sevilla when they needed a comeback to reach the Copa del Rey final. He has scored in these situations where Barcelona were cornered, and Koeman would be hoping he can get a decisive Dembele against Real Madrid as well. Last but not the least, we have to talk about Leo Messi, and what do we possibly say about him? It's no coincidence that Barcelona's recent form in the league has coincided with Messi coming back to form, and I have to say Leo Messi looks much happier now. He is enjoying the partnership that he's forming on the pitch, be it with Pedri or Dembele. Him and Pedri do have a very nice connection. They like combining with each other, and Pedri being creative also helps Messi a lot. He is just 18, but the maturity that he has shown this season is something rare for a young player. But Koeman has shown a lot of faith in this youngster, and that has worked very well for Barcelona. There is a reason why he is one of the fan favorites, but coming back to Messi, we have seen in the past few years Messi has changed his game style little by little. He started on the wings, but now he operates much more centrally. He would be dropping deep to receive the ball from the defenders of Barcelona. He would spend a lot of time in the midfield linking up with the rest, and he doesn't really have the burst of pace that he once used to have, but there is no denying his vision is still very good. He can still make those audacious defense-splitting passes, and he enjoys the free role that Barcelona have provided him. So basically speaking, Barcelona are still heavily reliant on Messi. A lot of the attacks go through him, and here obviously the question arises, what tactics should be used against him? Man marking can be an option, but I also think that can be a bit risky because Messi, we have seen so often he wins those one-on-one battles. The other option that I particularly fancy is the central block, the kind of defensive setup that Real Madrid deployed against Liverpool. We had seen that Real Madrid had completely packed the centre and had given the Liverpool attackers no space at all, and that I think will be very effective against Messi as well. He will struggle a bit to dribble past that white wall, and here we have to be very careful. We have seen many times when Barcelona would be in control, when Barcelona would be pinning back Madrid, Busquets and Pedri do have the tendency of making a lofted pass over the defensive line to find the blind-sided runs of Messi, and these runs can be very devastating. The defender is often caught ball watching, and the opponent players makes a run in behind, anticipating a cross. So Militao and Nacho have to be wary of this. We have to try our best to suffocate Messi, give him as little space as possible when he comes near our box, and obviously even after doing all of that, we have to hope Messi doesn't hit top form. He doesn't play at his usual level because Leo Messi in full swing can certainly cause a lot of problems. But the good thing is we have managed to stop Messi in the past few El Clasicos. We have managed to keep him quiet, so there is reason to believe that we may be able to keep Messi quiet again. So those are the important threats that Barcelona have in the arsenal, but we know a lot depends on who would be winning the battle in the midfield. Barcelona do have a setup where the wingbacks can very effectively link up with the midfielders and give them extra passing channels. So it would be interesting to see if Zidane goes with 3 or 4 midfielders. A lot still depends on Kroos, Casemiro and Modric, but I do have a feeling that Valverde will also be thrown into the mix of things. That is one way to counter the numerical advantage that Barcelona would be having from time to time, and that is why I expect a fully packed midfield. As for Valverde, we know he loves playing against Barcelona. He was one of the goal scorers in the Camp Nou, and even last season he had some superb performance against Barcelona. So definitely Zidane may be thinking to bring in Fede Valverde in the lineup. His physical qualities are quite obvious, but we also have to remember that the previous match against Liverpool took a lot out of the midfielders. They looked absolutely exhausted as the match came to a close, so Valverde surely would be very helpful for Kroos and Modric. He would be sharing some of the defensive responsibilities, and then Kroos and Modric will have more liberty to focus on the attacking aspect of the game, be at the creative best, find Benzema and Vinicius into dangerous spaces, and hopefully at the end of the day, Benzema and Vinicius will take their chances. If Valverde doesn't start, then we should expect the same lineup that started against Liverpool. Things worked perfectly fine in that match, so there is a case of not tampering with the things that are going well in the team. This is the second hurdle we have to overcome this week. We have somehow managed to come back in the race. Atletico have dropped many points in recent times, and this is a big chance to place ourselves in a commanding position. We have been on a sublime run, and let's continue the good vibes, let's continue the positive results, let's go out there and show some magical football, and very importantly, let's retain the bragging rights. So that is all I have in this video. Do let me know your thoughts related to the El Clasico. What do you think about Barcelona? What do you think about Real Madrid? How confident are you after seeing the emphatic performance against Liverpool? Write your thoughts and your predictions in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Glory to Madrid. And as always, Real Madrid.